Thank you very much for this opportunity to present. I'm András Bózsik. I thank you, Eva Šimečková, for inviting me and for organizing this event, because she has already done the second time and I was here the first time, and I think that this one is even better, and more people came, so I think we are creating here a tradition. So well done, thank you very much. And I would like to talk today about SME Instrument.
Is your microphone on?
Yes, but it's only for the video purposes. So, should I talk?
Yes,
is that okay? So, then I need some water. So I will talk about SME Instrument today. I have scientific background, but I have not worked even one day in that scientific background. I'm a biophysicist from profession, but I've been a business manager for 20 years now, and in the last 10 or so years I've been helping some small and medium enterprises to start an innovative idea, start it in business, and therefore I know the early hiccups of startup companies. I know what kind of problems they have in financing their ideas, and I was glad to accept the offer from Ateknea, who can help these companies that are struggling to get financing for their innovation ideas. So who is this Ateknea? We are actually a research and development company who also knows how to write proposals. We have more than 100 engineers in 6 locations. And just to tell you the 2 closest, I'm from the Budapest office, and we have also an office in Krakow. For most of you, it might be also interesting. We have just started the Polish enterprise, but the Hungarian enterprise is already 13 years old, and our base in Catalonia is already 16 years plus experience. And we have been writing proposals, and we focus in the recent years, especially we focus on SMEs. Therefore, we were actually #1 company in Europe to finance SMEs from FP7. And now I can say that we are top of the list on SME Instrument winning. For example, in Hungary, we have brought 80% of the money that went to Hungarian companies. We brought it. In Poland, we just started, but we won almost every one of our proposals, and we have in the recent submissions, we are the only winners with SME Instrument, or our clients are the only winners. And we have done a lot of research into what SME Instrument expects from the companies, and therefore we have now, I can say that even in SME Instrument we have more than double of the European success average. If we relate it to one proposal, one specific proposal, then we have more than 40% chance to win because of the resubmissions. So maybe first time we just experiment, and the second time we win the proposal. So what do we do? Oh, you don't see the top of it, but I will tell you. What we do is we give SMEs a service that will help them to finance their proposals, their ideas, mainly by SME Instrument. But in the beginning, we actually evaluate the idea, and we provide free services in order to validate the idea for the relevant proposal. And that means we don't take any prepaid fee, we don't take any success fee, we don't take any proposal writer fee. We just help you to find the best proposal for your idea, the best topic. And this means that after you have won, we would like to be involved in the project, and we get our financing from somewhere where it doesn't hurt the company. We know that SMEs are not full of money these days, and therefore we take our fees back on subcontracting. When we do some of the tasks that you have to do in an SME instrument, we do it for you. We know that most of the SMEs would not be able to execute a European project of 2 million euros in the way that the EC is expecting, and therefore they will need some subcontracting because they cannot finance, for example, they cannot put 20 engineers of their current staff who is actually working on something. Because you are a successful company, you must have engineers, they will be working on something. So you cannot just suddenly stop the guys doing something and put them on to a new task and make it to 20 of these people. So therefore you will need some subcontracting, and therefore we will be there and we take our money where it doesn't hurt you, because you would anyway need subcontractors. Therefore, so we evaluate the idea, it's completely free. We try to approximate it to some of the calls that we know would accommodate your idea. And then we look for the next opportunity where you can submit. We mostly do that for SME Instrument, but we also go for FET Open and FTI, but not so much. We actually focus on SME Instrument most of the time. And there comes the time when here you have won the project, and then we become your subcontractors, and we help you to make a perfect project out of it. And of course, we have some technical guys, but also business guys and ladies, of course, who are supporting the whole project. This means that we actually take technical project managers and project managers who do the documentation for you. Hands up if you like documentation and administration. No one here, okay. Then I'm glad, because we will have a job. We do most of the topics that are covered by SME Instrument. In every topic, we don't know everything, okay? No one knows everything. But we know what we know, and we know what we don't know. So in every topic, we will find some kind of subcontracting where we have European competence. That means the quality also and the knowledge about the European processes. We cooperate with a lot of international or European companies and organizations. We have a database of over 1,000 whom we have cooperated with already, so we know who to call when we need a consortium partner, or when we need some research organization who can do just the stuff that you need for your proposal. And sadly, the EEN logo has been cut off, but I'm personally a consultant for EEN, and we are partners of EEN in Hungary. So, who knows something about SME Instrument? Hands up. I'm glad that all consultants have put up their hands. That's good. Okay, so I will tell you the basics, and I will tell the benefits of SME Instrument compared to other calls. And it's a good job, because last time I came here, I found almost no one who knew about SME Instrument. So very good that we have some knowledge already. So I've taken the key call types, disregarding now the fast track to innovation and FET Open, which is a special type of research and innovation action. But if we point out the key differences, then you must say that SME Instrument is for business. Okay? If you don't want to do anything with business, then don't apply for SME Instrument. It's just for someone who wants to make money out of their projects. The key benefit of SME Instrument is that you get the most money compared with other calls. You get the most money per one enterprise, that's for sure. And if you don't have a consortium, then you get it even without financial validation. Got it? Because if you have a consortium, then the consortium leader has to be financially validated. But according to the current rules, if you don't have a consortium, you don't have to be validated. That means you get up to 2.5 million euros of subsidy without even having a financial validation. Of course, that's not completely true that you will get everything in advance the same way, but if you are a good company, a stable company, it's true for you. Okay, the next thing is that there are continuous calls every quarter year. So if you fail at the first, you can go for the second. And if you fail at the second, you can go to the third. Normally, you can submit every quarter or every second quarter, sometimes in phase 2 applications. And the good thing is that even one SME can apply. You don't need a consortium. You just need a strong SME with some competencies, and then you can apply. But you could even be a startup. The one tricky thing is that I hope you all know the technological readiness level scale, but I want to point out that the expected minimum level is TRL 6. To translate it, I've worked half a year in order to understand what SME Instrument needs and means about TRL 6. It means that your technology is validated in a real environment, taking into account the real problems. So best thing is actually start with an existing product and develop it further, because that's for sure at TRL 9. But if you're developing a new thing, then make sure that you have validated your technology in the real world. Of course, that happens in Eastern Europe, that we don't have a lab to test it, and we take the stuff to the factory and connect it to the 2 million euro worth of equipment, and we risk it that maybe we spoil the whole thing. Okay, that happens sometimes. At least with most of the clients I met, they didn't pay to a German or Russian laboratory to test their results, but they just connect it to the real stuff, and let's hope it works. Okay, so, and the intensity, I will talk about this. Intensity is similar to innovation actions, and there are special restrictions that we will say. For example, in health topic, there are now, the only health topic is 100% finance, and the next health topics, 1 out of 3 in the coming 2 years, it will be 100% finance. So, but generally it's the 70% intensity, and of course you get the 25% overhead, just like in the RIA and LIA calls. Where would you place SME Instrument? We know that in many cases the investors try to put you on a scale. This is the turnover or investment that you require as your idea grows. Of course, in the beginning, you just put the money in and you see no return. This is the place where founders or angel investors will come in. If you are lucky and you meet consultants like Professor Ben Asher, then you will be maybe successful and apply for a real application, and then you get your prototype ready at TRL 5 or TRL 6 level. But what do you do afterwards? I know, because I'm working with universities, I'm trying to make them use what they have in the financial and in the real market world. And I know that 99% of researches end up in the drawer. And this is what you know it too. Yeah? It's just to keep the universities alive. It's just to keep innovating. And often they know, and the reason why I actually left the scientific career before I even started it was the same thing as you mentioned with Edison, yeah? Was it Faraday? That I asked them, so what is it good for? What I've been doing in the last 2 years. And they said, we don't know. We worked for the drawer for 7 years, and we hope that someone will make it happen in some way. Now, this is the reason why we have now the SME instrument, so that if you know some ideas that are in the drawer now, but you see some market potential for it, then don't hesitate to set up a company or find an SME who finds it also interesting for their business and start an SME instrument project. The key thing is that wherever you start, you can start here, you can start with a TRL 9 product as well and further develop it. The key thing is that you should reach, by the end of the project, you should reach the TRL 9 level, which means the final product on the market. Then you can go to banks, of course, not in this part of Europe mainly, but we do hope that by the time we finish the SME instruments, there will be a third phase, which is market introduction of these projects, and therefore we will have substantial money available after we finish the SME instrument. So what is the SME instrument? It's a three-phase project. The third phase is about commercialization, and you don't get any money from the EU except something that you have to return. So it may not be interesting now, but it will be later when you have the good product, you have all the business plans, everything, and you just need to put it on the market. And then you will get some investment from EU or a bank loan, and then you can go to the market with much faster than with your own means. So phase 2 is the key part, where you can enter directly the €1,000 to check your project, whether it's worth investing for the EU. You have to check it from legal, from technical, and from market point of view, and you have to confirm that, yes, this is a product that is worth investing to. The second phase, it means if you have a product or prototype that is at TRL 6 level, then you are not developing anymore. You are further developing. You are adjusting. You are market replicating it to a different market. You are not making it the lab experiments anymore. It's the big chunk of the work is how to make it fit to the market, how to test it, how it will become a perfect product. We know that sometimes even prototypes are sold. I have one of them on my laptop. It's called Office 365. Yeah? We know that it could be called a beta version. Yeah? But otherwise, we are paying for it. So it's good business for them. But in this case, we are not allowed to experiment with the customers. We have to do the experimentation before. And for this, we get up to 2.5 million euros, but this is not the upper limit, because in some cases you're allowed to ask for up to 5 million euros of subsidy, but that's a very rare case. I must say that most of our winning projects got between 1.2 and 1.7 million euro subsidy, but that's not a bad thing to have anyway. The intensity I will show you later, and the duration is usually maximum 2 years. Here are the financials, if you are interested. First of all, in phase 1, you get a 35% advance. In phase 2, if you are a company of good standing, you get 45% in advance. Second, what is the intensity? We know that there are some eligible costs. This is the blue line here. It contains workforce, it contains equipment, some equipment, and it contains some of the materials that you will buy. Now, you have some extra costs, like overheads, and this is in a normal way. You can increase your budget by 25% to account for the overheads. So you don't have to account with every single mobile phone call, yeah? That I call the partner, therefore it's eligible cost. No. You get 25%, you do what you like, but you cannot get your real expenses funded, but only this 25%. It means that if you take the own contribution, of course, it will be the lilac part, the purple part. It will be 70% subsidized, that's the green light. Therefore, you have to show up 30% of your own contribution, which can be done in your own work. So you don't have to pay or deposit this amount, but you can work it as you go forward. But if you relate the subsidy that you get to the eligible costs, then you often get up to 87.5%. And we know that in our side of the world, mostly like in the eastern part, we don't need 25% overhead. So we make something like 2-3% overhead maximum on such a project. Therefore, you can consider it as an extra contribution. What you have to know is that for subcontracting, you are able to expense all the costs as eligible costs. But it contains some overheads, it contains some profit. Therefore, you don't get this extra 25% on subcontracting, because you already paid as an expensable cost. Therefore, your final intensity will be somewhere around 80 to 85%, which is still good. I think in Hungary we make a project from 70% usually. So what do you need to have when you want to apply for SME Instrument? I think that it's best to have a good company. Of course, you can do a startup, but if you start with a startup, then make sure that your business competences are covered accordingly, and that your founders are really good businessmen or really good scientific people, or both of them together. Because otherwise, just a startup from anywhere in the world with no one backing it up, you will probably not win, because you will lack some competencies. If you have a proven track record of important developments and winning some prizes and innovation prizes, then you are a good company. Of course, there is no minimum requirement again, but less chances to win. If you need, you can look at a turnover of almost zero, but think of the project. When you get this 2 million euros into the company immediately, and you have to pay for 20 or 30 people who were not in the company before you started the project. Just imagine what kind of cash flow and what kind of management requirement there will be. Therefore, we recommend that the company has a minimum ballast to accommodate the project. That means 1 to 2 million euro turnover and 20, 30 people. And of course, if you don't have inside the company, you can still have outside the company some R&D resources who are well known. They will help you. But don't focus on R&D only, because you need also business competence. And that's the most important, that if you don't have market competence in the EU, or if you cannot make it up somehow through your partners, then don't try to apply, because it's a waste of time usually. You have to make the project successful in the EU, and they expect you to do it. And believe me, many companies with already existing EU competencies are applying, and they are winning. How much time do I have? Because we have some delay. 5? Okay.
My presentation will be very short, so just use your time.
Okay, because we have a lot of learnings from the SME Instrument so far, which will help you if you have already submitted an SME Instrument proposal. Then this will also help you to update your idea, or it can help you to start preparation for an SME Instrument project. So let's see. The father of SME Instrument said, we have received several proposals, but they don't have the faintest idea how to make it a market success. Okay, this is a recent interview with Bernd. Okay, and he knows what he's saying. Of course, the evaluators don't always have the same background as he has, but they try to behave like a good businessman, and they, even if they don't have an own business, they try to check the market competences of the company who is applying. That means only 12% of the proposals actually meet the minimum requirements. Our proposals, usually 90% of the proposals we write together with our clients usually meet the 12-point minimum requirement. And the same thing, if you have already asked for financial investment, maybe venture capital or something, then this is the same process. So what we do, I see maybe 2-3 companies a day, and I read several more ideas. But what we do is we prepare them for accommodating financing. You can use the documents that we create together. You can use it for venture capitalists. You can use it for submitting a proposal. It's just that, luckily, this SME Instrument is something that is so much in line what you need to be successful in the EC, in the EU. It's so much in line that even those whom we don't work further and we say, sorry, but this is not an SME Instrument, they call me 1 year later or half a year later and say, you know, this was good that we talked, because now I'm having a successful business, and before I didn't, because I didn't know what to make it. Okay, so the key question you have to answer is, how does it make my company rich? If you don't know the answer, don't apply. Don't even come to me. Sorry. And some things we learned. We lack innovative ideas with business potential. That's the two key things. But this is an innovation project. Horizon 2020 is about innovation. You don't want to apply with something that financing your own investment. It's not for that. This is for business. Innovation has to be already present and made. You cannot apply if you say, okay, I have this, and that, and now here's the innovation part that I'm going to develop from the SME instrument. No. You have to have this, the innovation part, and you can put all the rest to it, which is only a market application or application of something. But the innovation has to be present. And of course, you have to have, in this case, a knowledge about how you will impact the European life, and especially from the business perspective. So what good it will make to the European community, and what good it will make to your own company. And this is why in SME Instrument projects, the points for impact are multiplied by 1.5, because it's so much important. Okay, you have to have a good team, not only 2 people, the owners. You have to have a balanced team. It's not bad if you have a good company website, not just a lousy one, because the weakest proposals we have seen are companies with a lousy website or no website at all. It's good to have a demo video because you can visualize your projects to the reviewers as well. And of course, you have to have a very good knowledge about who is going to buy and why. And if you have not done any research, then I urge you that you talk to your customers or potential customers and you ask them, would you buy this for this much if it was available? And they will tell you. And you will know that, sorry, we won't buy it like this, but we will buy it in a different way. And then you will have a successful SME instrument application. And sorry, last but not least, if you think that you can do it alone, then do it alone, and I will meet you in half a year. If you accept my learning that you cannot, that also Zohar said that you need a specialist for an SME instrument as well, because there are hiccups, there are roadblocks that you have to make, that you have to take and get over in order to be successful in the SME instrument. Therefore, we see a lot of applications without a consultant, and they get a very low point of 6 to 8 or maximum 10. And whilst our proposals are usually above 12, even if they don't win at the first time. So just one final chart that you can see. Probably the work of Zohar, also here. Israel won 15 million euros so far in phase 2, but Hungary 7.79, and 90% of that money has come through Ateknea Hungary, and we know that Ateknea Poland is winning almost every proposal they submit. So it's actually a good thing that we have managed together. We have managed to put Poland on this map, and Hungary has a very nice position as well. Of course, I don't talk about Spain because we have the Spanish branch as well, who are doing a good work. But I'm talking about now this part of the world that we live in the reality. And then, can I show the?
Yeah, let's show.
Okay.
Yeah, you can show.
Okay. So then I come back to the success rate, because many, as Bernd said, many of the proposals don't even reach the minimum threshold for evaluation. That means they are not even considered. Even if they had more money, they would not spend it on the project because it's not considered. So you have to reach the minimum level. And in phase 2, currently, over 30% of the proposals that meet the minimum requirements get funded. It's not so bad. We have somewhat better results than that. But even in phase one, there is 61%, of course, depending on the topic. In ICT, they have the lowest chances of success usually. So let me tell you just 3 examples. Vega Alga is a first-time winner proposal that is about creating a system where you can use algae in real agriculture. So there is a system where you produce your algae and you have the technology to use it in your own system, in your own agronomy, and they take up also your products, the final products, as bioproducts, and they sell it on the market. It's rather a business model. It's making use of an existing technology that is innovative, of course, to produce algae in a good form, and making use of the technology to use it in agriculture. Of course, that's very good, but it would not have won without the business model to help the small farmers to sell their bioproducts at the end. Second, TaskFit is something that even Microsoft would like to have, I think. It's about when you are working on many, many tasks. It's very hard to, first of all, to collect all the applications that you are running for a single task. And of course, it's very hard to see how much time you are spending on each task. And therefore, they created an environment where you have a screen for one task. And if you have another task, then just scroll, and then you have a different screen for the next task. And it's quite visual, of course, and you have the applications open for that specific task. It's like starting a new machine for each of the tasks that you are doing and changing within 1 second between the two. And the third one is also a first-time winner with us, but they have tried in many, many forms of financing. They submitted on their own a phase 1 application, and we gave them the chance to get a phase 2 application last December, and they have won. And I'm going to show the video.
I just want to remind you that if you are interested for a guided tour, that it starts now, so if you can go just to the registration desk. I don't want to,
Okay.
I don't want to send you away, but just...
Okay, then let's just start this video. It takes about 3 minutes, and then those of you who would like. So we know how many accidents small planes can create when they cross the airlines of bigger planes, and we know how hard it is to get used to a small plane. And this is an application for Google Glass or similar glass that you put on, and it will show you the key information visually in extended visibility, so that is augmented reality platform. Therefore, you are not making so many mistakes as usually, like, you know what, if this application had been present already 20 years ago, then the United States, the President of the United States would probably be called still Kennedy and not Obama, because the son of Kennedy died in an accident where he couldn't treat the plane properly. So thank you very much. And if you wish, find me with your financially viable propositions, and we will find a way to finance your idea from SME Instrument. Thank you very much.